Don't get it twisted, okay? And I want to make sure to clear the air on this. We had our differences, right? But professionals, grown-ups, have a conversation, and man, we back rocking. And so,
How did it all go about, man, of you taking over as well?
man, I blame Tom Brown. Love that guy. It's my mentor, my guru, one of my good friends, man.
Awesome
I blame
guy,
Tom.
man. How does Michael Daniel get through these parents as a director, as a coach, and even as a ref now today? Like, you've got so much experience now.
I'm hit every level. So,
Okay. And I started thinking, man, I need to start bringing the basketball world back into my world, into this when it comes to the podcasting world. So I want to mix it all up and bring it all together. And so today I have a special guest. His name is Michael Daniel. And it's funny, I've been calling him Daniel the whole time, and working around him for multiple years now. I think we're like maybe almost on 10 years now. I was trying to think about that the other day. I think it's like maybe even close to that. But we've definitely worked around each other, from him coaching and to now him taking this next step, which was it's not too new, but it's still kind of new to me in a way, because I like that he's in this area, and he's definitely gotten out of the coaching gig, which we'll talk about. But he's a big part of the Alamo Sports Complex out in the yeah. And so it's really awesome to kind of see everything growing over there. But my basketball program is all over that place, man. And they are always in leagues and tournaments. And so it's really cool to just have somewhere local, even for New Braunfels, to kind of go out there and do their thing there. So without further ado, let me bring on Michael Daniel, man. What's up, Michael? You doing all right, brother?
Man, what's up, Coach Justin? How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
Thank you for having me. Have no idea
Absolutely.
what I'm getting into. But let's rock.
That's what everybody says, right? Everybody's like, damn, what is J-Rock going to do? What's Coach Justin going to do? And it's crazy because you really don't know me in this world other than probably follow me on social media. Yeah?
And I've seen a little bit.
Yeah?
Seen a little bit.
All right, man. So he's like, shit, what clip? Now I'm curious on what clip you saw for anything.
I'm never gonna tell that. All I know is like I'm me. So
Yeah.
I don't need pre-scripts and all that, because I'm straight from the heart. It's authentic.
Hell
so
yeah,
whatever
man.
you got, man, let's get to it.
Let's do it, man. Well, I just feel like without it saying any of this, going into any of this, I should say, man, I've known you for a good while from the coaching aspect of what you've done. You've grown some great teams out there, but you got into Alamo Sports Complex. When I started with Alamo, again, I can go back years, but it was years ago. Tom Brown was there, which shout out to Tom, man. Great dude, big heart for the game, which then led to these kids and to everything that he created there at Alamo Sports Complex. Excuse me. When did this transition happen, brother, when you actually took over the facility?
So first, let me clarify. I did not take over the facility.
Okay, see, there you go. All right.
Edward Dahl.
Okay.
That is the owner. Edward Dahl, Jason Smith, those are the owners of Alamo City All-Star Sportsplex. Really
Nice.
Victory
Okay.
Sports Performance. I am just a basketball
Just
guy.
operator.
Right, I'm basketball
Operations.
director of operations. That is my role. That is my title. I have 0% ownership in that building. I handle basketball for the building.
There you go. So clearing it up for all of us here. There
Yes.
you go. Heck yeah. So how did it all go about, man, of you taking over as well?
Man, I blame Tom Brown. Love that guy. It's my mentor, my guru, one of my good friends, man.
Awesome
I blame
guy,
Tom.
man.
I started as just a referee. When I got into refereeing in San Antonio, because I moved here in 2010 from Corpus.
Okay.
And so when I started officiating, I was trying to figure out, where do I need to go? And I kept hearing his name, Tom Brown, Tom Brown, Tom Brown. And this was before he had built the Sportsplex.
Okay.
And finally, I met up with him. And from the first time I met him, he didn't know who I was from Adam and Eve. And everything that he did was to help me achieve what I was trying to get to. And at that time, it was just refereeing. I just wanted to find who's got tournaments just so I can go officiate, right?
Okay.
Who's your assigner? Who do I need to connect with? And he opened up the doors. Well, fast forward a couple of years later, I was looking into trying to get another facility. And again, reached out to Tom. He gave me the entire layout without no hesitation, right? Just
That's awesome.
an amazing heart, wants everybody to win and succeed.
Mm-hmm.
And then I grew from being a referee to taking over the officials. Situation came and it was time to move forward from his current assigner.
Okay.
And then I became the ref assigner. And so did that for like a year. And then one day I'm there just picking up a check to get ready for the, get ready to pay the refs. And he's like, "Hey, do you got a fourth grade team?" And this was when COVID just finished. This was October of 2020, September of 2020.
Okay.
And when he's going to do the fall EMS league, and I'm like, my team's been on ice, with COVID. Let me find out if people are ready to come back out. So my fourth grade team was ready to come back and play. Put them together. And those are my current 29s.
Mm-hmm.
They're in fourth grade at that time. They had just started fourth grade. Started that fourth grade team. Eric Talley, my other brother of life, he was like, "Hey, if you're going to be coaching, you're going to come over 80 elite." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And so I didn't, I was just a referee, And
So you hadn't even been coaching yet at this point.
To be honest, I didn't even like coaching. Like training with back to basics basketball.
Yeah, that's fun.
Training was my thing. That's what I'd been doing since 2014.
Okay.
Right? Training was my thing. The coaching thing wasn't my skilo, right? I like to train and then go watch kids, apply.
Yeah.
Brought my son out the YMCA, the team, brought them in. Eric Talley wanted me to come with 80 Elite. Got over there, and then Tom hits me with the, "Hey, we want you to build a basketball program in the Sportsplex." What? Like, man, what are you talking about? Look, March 1, we're going to open up basketball. We're going to open up a court. We want you to build a program. Now, this is November. I'm like,
2020.
This is November 2020.
Okay.
I'm like, man, how's that going to work? How's that going to go? He was like, "We're going to have a court. We just want you to get teams." I'm like, "Well, what am I supposed to do between now and then?"
Yeah.
He was like, "I don't know." But so me, I'm a go-getter. I'm like, okay, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So from that November to March, I started selling the dream to folks like, "Hey, we're moving into the Sportsplex March 1. Like, join his ride." And so I was using Trinity Christian, I was using Gervin, and I was using SOA because people that, were coming to my camps or whatever, they were like, "Okay, we're going to build something. It's going to be something." And they were coming. And so from that time, November to February, it was rough because, we're at Gervin, we're at SOA, we're just getting in where we could fit in, all on the predication that, hey, March, we're at the Sportsplex. So when March comes around, I show up to the Sportsplex, and I've got 8 teams now. 8 teams that had come along and was ready for the move-in.
Yeah.
And Tom was like, "How?" And I'm like, "Well, you told me to build a program, and,
You told me to put the word out there to get it out there,
and
right?
So what happened is, true story, they didn't know how it was going to go because there had been basketball in the Sportsplex, but it hadn't been something stable.
So before then, there was nothing but Tom's only running.
They tried.
Tournaments,
They had
leagues.
the All-Stars, right? They tried, but it hadn't been what one would call successful or stable. Because if it was, he wouldn't be asking me to come build one. Right?
Correct.
So when we talked in November about how this was going to go, basically, and I love Tom, but he didn't want to take the gamble at that time in November. And
you got to think about this. He's coming out of 2020, which is COVID, not making any money on that. Okay.
And so, we sat at a round table, and I said, understand that if I pull this off, like when we come back in March, it's not going to be the same. Well, when I show up in March and I've got 8 teams ready to go, practice layout, practice, him and Miss Grace were like, "What in the how?" And so,
nice.
We're rolling. And so now we've got teams in the building, right? And so in May, those teams are still there. Teams are still rolling. And then that's when the opportunity came of, "Hey, I want you to help me with basketball."
Okay.
I don't know what that looks like, Tom, but whatever you need, right? Again, I'm just the referee assigner, no officiating, no training, and a little bit about
I was
coaching.
just here to blow a whistle.
Look, right? And so I start assisting, "Hey, Mike, blah, 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 blah. Right? So fast forward. We're in 2021 now, right? And fast forward, and then it's like September, October. And Tom was like, "Hey, you're doing really good." He's like, "I need you to learn how to run tournaments and run leagues." Why? I'm like, that's your gig. Like, I'm just here to help and manage it, like, and, deal with confrontations and stuff. Why? What? Why? Well, I just need you to learn how to run. And then our director of operations, the now owner, Edward Daw,
Yeah.
he was like, Mike, you have 6 months to learn everything about tournaments and leagues. What's going on?
What's going on?
Right? Yeah. Nobody's telling me anything. All they're telling me is you need to learn how to. So slowly, Tom started like fading and like just kind of leave it all on me. I have no idea what's going on. I'm thinking, just grooming process.
Yeah.
And then Tom sells. And I'm like, and now the current owner, Edward Dahl, he's like, this is why I needed you to learn how to.
So how long did you think that they knew? Like, if you can go back and think about that, when did you think they knew they were actually going to do the sell and they needed you to kind of do what you're doing now?
I think somewhere in that winter of 2021, and then, it takes time to get that stuff manifested, right?
Absolutely.
And so I feel that 2021, when he came to me, that's when him and Miss Grace were like, because they got grandchildren now, they got kids on the East Coast, the West Coast. I think that 2021 is where if somebody presented the proper offer, he was gone.
Yeah.
And obviously he had the conversation because when the director of operations, now owner, is like, you have to learn everything about basketball, between, you have 6 months. And so they knew, in 2021, that late fall, winter 2021. And it was a great experience because like I truly learned there's nothing like failure to get to success. Nothing like trying it to find out what works, what doesn't work. And then take and put my own craft with it.
Yeah.
And then, just try to make it better. But yeah, man, Tom set me up from bringing in my team but I love it. It's a privileged blessing that when I tell people I'm living the dream, I'm living the dream.
Yeah.
I really am. So thank you, Tom. Thank you, Eddie. But yeah.
That's awesome, man. No, I had always been curious because, again, just being a guy that just goes and enjoys everything that y'all put on over there, from tournaments to leagues. We've always had a good time out there, and that's why we've continued, man.
Right.
And I've seen the growth, and it's great. And I think it's just going to continue to go, man. I think y'all will continue to keep striving and giving us opportunity for our kids to go and play, man. That's the biggest overall. You know what I mean? Is being able to have that location near to New Braunfels. That's the nearest location I feel that does what y'all do.
Yeah.
And a lot of these New Braunfels teams, they're kind of afraid to go sometimes further, So I think that's what's great. So if you've never been out to the Alamo City Sports Complex, make sure y'all go check that out. And if you have any sort of basketball or volleyball, right, definitely look up their website, and so that way they can see if they have something for you. So that'd be great. So moving on, bro, I want to know, like, what got you, I guess, into reffing? I guess that's what we say, because it's not really what we know. What got you into coaching? It was Tom, right?
Yeah.
Right. But what got you into reffing, or just in the game in general? When did you start getting in the game of basketball?
I mean, basketball has been life. Those. If you ask my dad, those are my first words. True basket was my first words, right? But the reffing part came from playing. When I moved up here in 2010, I was playing in men's leagues, and some of the officials started talking to me because, we're always looking for younger guys that kind of know the game. Mm-hmm. And my uncle Johnny Lowry was the one. It took him 2 years to finally get me because I was still playing. I wasn't ready to stop playing yet. And my military accident, kind of cemented, it is time to transition. Because once I tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus, go figure, right, not during basketball, on an airborne operation, right? And when I had that injury, then I was like, okay, it's time to transition. And so I called up my uncle and, hey, where do I start? And then I was blessed, man. I had the greatest referee mentors you ever could have asked for.
Really?
Reggie Eggins, Marshall Harris, Ralph Turner, Rufus Lott, rest in heaven, Mac Freeman, of course, Johnny Lowry, coming up with Rafael Belinfante, Mark Veer, then Kenny Belinfante as a mentor, Marvin Cobb. I mean, I had a phenomenal supporting cast of guys that were making sure that I was going to do it the right way.
Nice.
And that's kind of how I run my referees now. Of course, refs aren't going to be perfect, but I do my best, right? And I'll let refs go, and it's hard for me to play locally in other tournaments because refs that I let go, other people need them and they'll use them. And so when I walk in and it's a ref that I know why I let him go, okay, Michael, you just got to just coach and don't say anything today, And so the reffing gig is tougher than people realize, man.
I'm sure, man.
It's an animal and it's a monster, And so just trying to be better, trying to be accountable, parents and fans don't really understand it. Sometimes coaches don't understand it, which is why I'm going to start hosting coaches clinics, right? Educating coaches, right? Hey, these are points of emphasis. These are what we're trying to do with, again, the understanding that not going to be perfect, right? But neither is your players, right? Kind of goes hand in hand. Before coming to me about a referee and their judgment, how many layups did you miss? How many free throws did you miss? How many turnovers did you have? Before you come yelling at me and want to blame a ref for a game, right? Start with your team.
I think that's what a lot of coaches are losing, that aspect. We saw that this past weekend, man. One of the coaches was getting upset because of the ref not making a call, but you're missing multiple layups. You're not even able to stay in the game. You're down by 20, bro. And you're wanting him to make a specific call, and you're blaming it on him. And you're right. Look at your team first, right?
Now, don't get it twisted, okay? And I want to make sure to clear the air on this. Don't get it twisted because I coach and I coach hard.
Yeah.
And my VP, India Shivers, she tells me the worst thing that ever happened to me was I was the level of ref that I was, because now when I coach, there are things that I truly do know that I can speak ref lingo, and sometimes it's intimidating, You will see me, hard on refs because there's certain things that are just expectations, but I'm never going to, after a game, blame a ref. I'm not going to let my parents, I'm not going to let my players, no, that's a no-no, right? They didn't take one shot. They didn't make one bad pass. They didn't make one bad sub, right? And so you will never hear me blame a ref. Will you hear me on a ref during a game? Absolutely, especially if you're not getting the half court, not getting the baseline, if safety starts becoming an issue, right? Yeah, you're going to hear me. Right, but that ref cost us that, man. You will never hear those words from my mouth.
The way that I've learned to respect the ref is I've had to dig deep, especially as I gotten older. I would say early 20s, I was kind of that asshole coach to a ref.
We all were,
right? But as I've gotten older, I respect these guys as a person first for what they're doing. And then it goes into, I will be quiet and I will respect every part of you until you give me a reason not. But I'm not going to disrespect you.
Right.
I'm just, like you said, I'm going to now use my voice to get into your head and let you know what I'm seeing. Right. And if you can't come back to me and tell me during a timeout, during a free throw, a little, just a little chat, what you're seeing, cool. But when you're quiet and you're not able to explain that to me,
right?
And now I feel like you're just, there's been some games where I'm like, bro, you're blowing the whistle now because I got in your ear, and that's not fucking cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So those are the things that I will 100% respect a ref first, because I know what he's doing and I know what he has to go through.
Right.
So that's going to lead me to the next thing. Parents. These parents are all over the place. And I know this, we might get off of how the parents treat refs because of where we're about to go with the parents. But, man, I feel we had a situation. We were at Nationals.
Okay. Which Road to Nationals?
Road to Nationals, with Devin and his group. And a coach that's, it's not, this. We go through this, we're in this San Antonio area, and we meet coaches and we're respectful of coaches. Even though once that ball goes up in the air, I get it. We're competing. Right. So if guys that are watching this, I get that. You know what I mean? I'll be competitive with your ass too. Trust me.
Right.
But Before and after, I'm going to respect everybody that does this job too, because I do it as well, right? So one of those coaches comes up to me and says, "Hey, coach, you have a team over here, and your parents are talking shit about your own kids." I said, "Wait, what?"
That's tough.
And I'm like, "Are you, like our own kids?" And he's like, "Yeah, like they're not even talking shit about the other team. They're talking shit about your own kid, about another kid on your team." So I go on my group app and I literally just laid it on everybody. And I was like, I don't know who the fuck it is. I don't have time to figure out who it is right now either. But I sent it to every team that was there because he didn't even know what team it was either, right?
He just
It's an older team. Boozers. Exactly.
Purple and orange.
Exactly. Purple and orange hoopsters. That's all he saw. So I do that and I'm just like, wow, man, like I don't understand how these parents first, I get it, you're competitive. I know it's your baby. I get it. But you do not need to react certain ways that they do out there. You know, so how does Michael Daniel get through these parents as a director, as a coach, and even as a ref now today? Like you've got so much experience now.
I'm hit every level.
Okay.
So starting as a referee, right? As a referee, and I will take this to the grave. As a referee, your game management will manage the stands and the sidelines of the coaches, right? And so what I mean by that is if you as a referee take care of business on your court, the stands are going to be okay. The coaches on the sidelines are going to be okay. When you as a referee let it go, you let it go to the point that now it's too late to gain control.
Yeah.
And I will stick firmly by that. Now, are there some situations that rowdy one-off play happens and things explode? Yeah, but those are one-off situations. I'm talking about the situations when you stand near a court and every whistle, every play, the stands are just in an uproar. That's a game that was not managed well by the officials, okay? And I say that because, you know, it's rare, but every now and again, there's a ref situation that happens. If you see me in stripes in one of our events, it's because something happened. Somebody didn't factor in traffic. Somebody had a flat tire. Their grandma died again. You know, who knows, right? I still take pride in being able to manage a game. I will call a warning, right? There are tools that we have. Everything doesn't always have to be a technical foul. You don't always have to be rowdy, you know. And when I send messages out to my officials, my first thing, leave the stands alone. And I say that because
some guys can't do that though.
I know. And they think that I'm just being a jerk, but I'm trying to save you because it's all fun till it ain't.
Yeah, it's correct.
You know, a game's going good, you're kikiing it up, right? Well, now the other team's like, well, why are you laughing with that team's parent, right? Then a call doesn't go their way. Now they're on your head. Now you're back in. Just leave the stands alone, right? You know, same thing with coaches. If you talk to one coach, make sure to find a reason to go and talk to the other coach. Don't give a reason to make somebody feel favoritism. And so that's my number one thing. Leave the stands alone because some stands can be obnoxious and rowdy. Now, as an official, right, in the instant that I have that situation, I'll simply turn. Hey, do you want to enjoy your kid playing or do you want to be outside? I would prefer you watch your kid playing, right? You pay good money. I would prefer you. Please don't make me take the next step. So as an official, I try to give that warning. Now, as an official, I can do that because I'm also the director. So I have that control. I can manage that. For my officials, if a parent's getting that rowdy, I ask them, stop the game, right? Figure out what team it is. Give that coach an opportunity. Either you take care of it or we will, right? Now, that coach, because there have been some situations that coaches don't help. And what I'm starting to learn, actually I've been learning it, but really paying more attention, rowdy teams, you go look at the coach. They're following. They're following.
Thank you
suit.
for saying that.
They're following suit. That's why earlier when we talking about parents, I said I'm going to go somewhere that some folks ain't gonna like, but it's real.
It's the coach.
When you see a coach go control his stance, right, or a coach that's not what we would call rowdy, you're not really going to have a following that's rowdy. But when you see a coach that's acting that way, or parents that's acting that way, guarantee 9 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, the coach is in similar behavior. Dang. And so it starts again with game management. You know, if you let something go a whole game and now you're down to minute 32 of the game and now you want to address behavior, it's too late.
Yep. Way too late.
It's too late. You know, this weekend we had a situation at the gym. It was a great basketball game, but there was so much going on that was unaddressed, right? And so when you don't address those behaviors throughout the game and you try to do it in the last couple of minutes, well, now that dogfight's happening. They're not trying to hear that now. It's too late. And so for me, you know, we talk about parents' behavior. It starts with the coach.
Yep,
right?
Sure does.
It starts with the coach because, believe it or not, those parents that are there watching that team, that coach has control over that. They really do. And any coach that says, I can't control my parents, I'm not going to make that next statement, but you know where I'm going and what I'm insinuating.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And so that's really how that goes.
And then I'll go that route. That's sad because usually that coach isn't going to tell that parent something because either how good that kid is or their team won't be good without that kid. Yeah. And they're afraid to confront that parent because then they'll just snatch their kid.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, ain't no kid athlete good enough to be doing that in my program.
I have a rule.
I'm sorry.
I have a rule.
What rule you got?
I have a rule, and my rule of follow through is there's only one bad guy. When we go to games, we go to tournaments, because I coach my travel teams, there's only one bad guy.
Okay.
If somebody is going to have bad, it's going to be me. You all will not do that. I said, trust me, I know situations. I said, but one, it's okay to have adversity. It's okay to be in hostile environments, right? But you guys will not act up. And I told him, I said, if somebody's going to act up, let it be me. Yeah. We're not going to have let them talk about the coach. Don't let them talk bad let them talk about me.
Yeah.
You know, you guys just deal with it. I will handle it. You know, and so, you know, growing, that's been my biggest growth piece because what happened is, you know, as we started traveling, because of when I would ref at certain events, I expected, you know, this is a circuit, this is a bigger event.
Yeah.
I'm expecting better quality. Mm-hmm. And that's where I went wrong. And so, you know, my VP, you know, my right hand, India Shivers, she was like, bro, you got to stop expecting quality. Just expect trash. Like if you expect trash, you know, now when you see trash, you're okay. Right. And so that's really how I started treating things. I would get to gyms early, like my courts early, to go scope. Okay, I got to the point, I'm not even scouting teams. I'm scouting the refs. Okay, what are we getting ready to deal with? Am I going to be able to have a conversation with this ref? Am I just going to have to go silent and just completely leave this ref alone because they're sensitive? Like, I'm literally scouting refs now. Like, how can I behave during this game? Mm-hmm. Can I coach with approaching and asking questions? Can I coach and just leave them alone and just, hey, guys, we got to play through. Hey, the refs aren't here today. And what I started finding out is adopting that mindset, it allowed me to coach more. It allowed me to leave them alone because, hey, let's start focusing on controlling what we can control.
Correct.
And it started making me a better coach, allowing my players. Don't get me wrong, there's some situations that were tough. It happens, you know?
Yeah. I think that's the adversity of the game, right?
Right. You know, we have to be able to overcome that. If we control, we can control, we'll be okay.
Yeah.
We'll be okay. We can walk away with our head up.
That's so funny. I say that a lot to my kids. It's all about what we can control. The things that are out of your control, what are you going to do? You're going to get mad about it? You're going to cry about it? Like, it's out of your control. And that's leading to the ref part. Like, I don't know what kind of mood that guy is in, you know? And I know, like, there's a couple refs that are probably going to watch this episode too. But, like, you know, there's a guy out there that I see out, and we had a big fallout. Like, I remember telling Lupita, like, I don't want this fucking ref on my court.
I bet if somebody got
Like,
fired.
I will pull. No, and I'll be real with you, D. He was there this last Friday or this past tournament.
Well, you gotta tell me who.
I'll tell you who, but I'm not gonna. At the same time, like, I'm just thinking he had a bad day, and that's where I'm going. Like, it sucks because they're fucking human, bro. Like,
Oh, you got me curious now.
yeah, they're human, and I get it. You're gonna have a bad day, but when you're ruining the game for in a certain way, that's where that pisses me off.
Yeah.
And then you know what I mean. And I see this kid at the next spot, and it's like, I'm not gonna be that guy to you, man. You just got to show me that you're not that guy.
Yeah.
That you showed me, and I'm good.
Makes sense.
And he didn't. So, you know, and I see him. I even shook his hand this past weekend. That was the first time I probably shook his hand in a long time. But that's made me understand, like, respect the game first. And that's what I'm doing. Because I'm telling that to my kids. And you're absolutely correct when we go all back to all that around about parents. Like, yeah, it's all about what you're doing. Like, at this point, and especially my older kids that have been with us for a long time, their parents, I'll look at them and be like, hey, you better cut that shit or get out. Like, I literally would be like, and, you know, we have that deal. Because I get it, you know, it's your baby, like I said. I'm always going to say that. I know it's your baby. I joke about that when I say
parents and refs, you know, I mean, you've seen it in my tournament message, my league messages. Mm-hmm. Refs are going to miss calls.
They're going to, man.
Their judgments are going to be different than yours. At the end of the day, it's basketball.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. Come on, ref. Oh, no, you missed that one. For me, it's when you cross that line of derogatory, right? You start calling refs out of their names. Mm-hmm. You start getting belligerent. Mm-hmm. You start using obscenities and profanities. That's when it becomes a problem because you want to express yourself. There's a way to express it without, you know, and sometimes I get it. You know, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. There have been games that I've sat on courts and I'm cringing because I know why the stands and the coaches are losing their minds, right? I'm witnessing it, right? I get it, but it still doesn't give that right of the obscenity. You know, it's when you cross that line, because at the end of the day, they're wearing black and white stripes, but they're human beings too.
Yeah.
You know, and so, like I said, the obscenities, right, the profanities, calling them out of their name, right? If you think that, and excuse my language, if you can think you can tell a ref you fucking suck or you're a bitch or all of that, and you don't think that human being's gonna respond, you're wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, he's human. Or she's human.
You know, and that's why I tell refs, like, leave the stands alone, because as a director, I'm put in a hell of a spot, right? Mm-hmm. I've got customer base and I've got my refs I've got to take care of. And so what I tell them is, and this is real, if you do your job the right way and come and get me, I'm going to defend you 2 and 3 and I'm going to take care of that parent. But if you go back and forth with that parent, now you're wrong. Mm-hmm. You stripped away me being able to back you up. Now I'm going to go diffuse that parent, right? And so it's not always pretty, you know. I don't know why parents feel that they can yell some of the stuff that they yell. You know, this is no jive. It was a 4th grade basketball game a couple of months ago, and we were on a north court. Not making this up. It was the 2nd play of the game. Ref missed the travel. Notice I said ref missed the travel. Parent jumps up. How the fuck you missed that travel? And karma and fucking fell over the bleacher. Like, jumped up.
My God.
2nd play of it was a 4th grade basketball game. 2nd play of the game. You know, you've been in our bleachers. Picture our bleachers. Jumps up. How the fuck you make?
Boom.
Tumbled over. I didn't have to go say anything after. I'm like, well, they got their karma right there. You know? Jeez. And that's the part for me. I'm like, geez Louise, like, it's the 2nd play of a game.
It's 4th grade.
It's 4th. Well, no, I'm not going to go that, because, you know, when you're playing tournaments, you're trying to compete. Okay. So I understand wanting the calls. You know, like I tell refs, they're like, well, Mike, if it's happening, how do you want us to call that? I said, if you call everything, nobody can say anything. Oh, you're not letting them play. Well, when we tried, you know, And so you either call everything or call nothing.
Yeah.
I prefer you call everything, you know? And so sometimes I don't get it. You know, I've seen situations where the call is for the team and they're still ripping the ref. And I'm like, man, what do y'all need me here for? Y'all are complaining the calls are for you. I'm going to walk away now.
Yeah.
Good luck to your team.
I try to think that I show just my body language to the ref. Like when I feel him make a bad call, you know, and they're running by, I'll just shake my head at them. I'll just put my head down and shake my head. I'll throw my hands up a little bit, and that's my way of like, okay, I'm gonna start getting a little irritated here in a little bit if something doesn't happen.
Man, you fall into the category of coaches that I can honestly say, if Justin Castillo's coming to me about a situation with a ref, I need to know what court, what game, right? Because as many teams that you've had for the last 5 years that's been in the Plex, right? Never seen you act ridiculous, maybe once, twice, merited, right? But for as much as you've been in there, we have issues, right? So if Justin's coming to me, it's kind of like, it's the same way when we used to officiate, when I used to officiate. We're going into games, and we know coaches' demeanors and temperaments. If this coach, if we're hearing his voice, we need to listen, right? There's something that we're missing, right? Then there are coaches that, hey, we got to get him under rest because we know, let's calm that, you know. And so coaches do earn reps, you know. Do refs wake up on a Friday morning and do a dice roll? They don't even know what teams are going to have until they get to the gym. All they know is what court they're on. So when I hear people accusing refs of cheating, hey, folks, it's Friday. That ref didn't wake up this morning and decide, I'm going to cheat this team tonight. That's not how this goes. So please stop that. You know, those are the, you know, obscenities, accusations of cheating. Those are the ones. Now, if you wanted to tell him that he's blind because he done missed 18 travels, I can live with them apples, especially if I sit there for a minute. Because when I hear uproars, I go stand by the court, right?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
And I'll even tell parents in the stands, hey, I'm not disagreeing with you. I just need you to tone it down, right?
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm watching the same game. Trust me, I'm not going to stop the game and go, you know, it's going to be addressed. But
Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Right?
I need you to relax right now. You know, and I've had those conversations. You know, at the end of the day, the same way we're trying to get our kids prepared, we're trying to get parents prepared because I don't know what New Braunfels has, but, you know, in the city, there are field houses. You know, you got Blossom, you got the Convocation Center, you got the Northside Stadiums. You can't do that in those gyms. It's no question. That sheriff's walking right over to you.
Yep.
Act stupid if you want to.
Yep. You're
And so you're just be prepared. Like, let the game happen, man. You know, I get it, emotion. Let the game happen. Stop trying to live through your kid, right? You're not the coach. Just be a parent. Sit there and applaud. And now this I can attest to. You ever see me at my son's game that I don't coach? You'll never even know I'm there. One, I don't sit near the parents because I can't take some of the stuff that I hear. So I sit as far away as possible. You'll see me with my daughter. We'll be off in the corner. We'll be off in the corner somewhere, applauding, thumbs up, cheering. That's true story. Yeah. You know, I have people when I go watch my son's middle school game. Coach, you can help him. No, I can't. I'm dad.
Yeah, no.
That's his role.
I'm wearing this hat today.
My job is when he looks over to me, give him a thumbs up. That's my job today.
And how's your son doing, man? He tore his ACL last year, right?
He's back. That's my oldest. So he's back. He's back recovered. Actually started public school this year. He's been homeschooled for a couple of years, and so it's going to be an exciting senior year for him. That's good, so he's back playing, taking it slowly but surely. But yeah, it's good to see him. You know, he pushed through his physical therapy, and he's doing okay.
That's good, man.
Stay strong, yeah.
Heck yeah.
But, you know, the parent thing, you know, emotions are, man, and it's not going to stop.
No, it isn't.
You know, it's not going to stop. You know, what we do at the Sportsplex, I can't speak for everybody else. We try to maintain a safe environment because customers, the complaint that I never want to hear, Mike, you have crazy people in your events.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Can't have that, won't have that, don't want that. And so, yeah, I'm going to go diffuse situation. Like I said, you paid good money. And I ask them, do you want to watch your kid today or do you want to be outside pissed? And I tell them, I would prefer you sit here and watch your kid.
Yeah.
9 o'clock in the morning game. Who the heck want? I would prefer you sit here and watch your kid. I want you to sit here and watch your kid. You know?
Yeah.
Please don't make me eat. Please don't make me have to make that other decision. I don't want to call my guy that's sitting on the wall waiting for me to look over and give a thumbs. I don't want to do that.
And that's the first game of the day too in the morning, and then
I mean,
you
whether
gotta
it's
miss
the first game,
two.
the middle, at whenever.
You know? No, yeah.
I don't want to have to make that decision.
Yeah, for sure.
Please don't make me. Right? You paid your money to be here. You're a part of an organization that wants to be here.
Yeah.
We want you to be here. I want you to enjoy your kid.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you woke up to do. Today is reserved for basketball. Enjoy your kid. But I tell people this too. I am a certified professional and I'm not afraid of confrontation. If you make me put that other hat on, I will put that other hat on for the stability and safety of the gymnasium and the event. I will. I don't want to, but I will.
Yeah.
You know, and so, like I said, man, it's getting way better.
I can.
If you look at the list of teams that I have,
It has gotten better, man.
there are teams that I just won't have.
Really.
And I'm okay with that. Because if not having this team, this organization in the building means the building and the event has safety and stability, I'm going to choose safety and stability every day of the week, every day of the year. And I'm okay with that decision.
What do you think about these YouTubers now that are moving around? They're signing up for tournaments.
Not coming to my event.
You don't know who they are until they get there sometimes. Like, have you gotten that yet?
No, because so part of being a tournament director is knowing your customers and clientele.
Okay.
And so I have a pretty good gauge of the teams and the events. So when I see a Burger Boy Elite, right, a Social Plug Elite, who the hell are you?
Yeah, who are these guys?
Right. I'm vetting and I'm asking questions. What events have you played with? Where did you play? Because I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna make calls.
That's good that you're doing
right.
that, man.
And so if you can't provide the details that I need,
Nice.
so my great grandmama, back when she was still alive, and I'll say my great grandma, she's 103. We still play dominoes.
Really? That's awesome.
Oh man, and she'll still kick your butt.
I was about to say she's still kicking your ass too, right?
Matter of fact, you're on my Facebook. I just saw her a couple weeks ago.
Nice, man.
And she'll tell you when we're playing dominoes, all money ain't good money, baby. And so, yeah, those teams are going to bring a following, but the headache that comes with it ain't worth it. Yeah, it's cool. I'll let other folks be cool. I have to provide a safe and stable environment.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I don't want teams wanting to sign up with me and ask me the question, well, is such and such going to be in there? Well, I don't want to play against it. I don't need that. Don't want that. Again, safety and stability. I'm okay with turning teams away because for me, it's not about the money. It's about the quality of the event. That's what matters.
That's what's up, man. Safety and stability. I like that. What branch were you in the military?
Army.
Okay. How long were you in the military?
8 years.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate your service, brother.
Turned down extending the contract, turned down the promotions. When you start seeing the ugly side of things,
Yeah.
I'd done my time. Joining the military, I was at a place of life that I needed that. And so when you're the old guy in the military, I joined late. You're the old guy.
So can we get into that? Like where?
Yeah.
Like what made you have to make that decision to go that route?
Being a screw up in life.
Okay.
I was a grown man messing up in life. Messing up with the wife, messing up with jobs, and I needed something.
Gotcha.
I needed something to change, right? And so
How old were you going in?
30.
Okay. Oh wow. So
Yeah.
you really went in pretty late.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so that's where that came. And so what happened is when you join the military, I'm a 30-year-old. Well, there are 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids that have no clue about life. And I became like the uncle, the father figure, guy that started helping, and it started helping me. And so that military stretch of life, that everybody's got chapters of life. You know what I'm saying? That was a huge part of me, huge part of my makeup.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Did who were like your mentors kind of growing up as well, like as in your early years? Were you into sports?
Oh yeah.
Going through high school, middle school, things like that?
So I mean, my dad's been my biggest influence. My dad, my mom, my little sister. I know that sounds weird. What? Listen, yes.
Yeah.
My dad, the people that I grew up with every day of life. Been my biggest influences of life. And being with my dad, there are people that I met along the way. Like my dad used to come up here and play in men's leagues. And this is back when basketball was really about something, when the programs were really the programs, right? And so he was connected, Willie Anderson, Alvin Robertson, Terry Cummins. I got to actually come and stay up with these guys. Terrence Jackson, a.k.a. Boo Man of Hard Work. I used to come up. I played for back when we were Alamo City Soldiers before he took on the name Hard Work, and so I've been coming from Corpus Christi. I've been rooted in San Antonio all my life.
Gotcha.
And so, there are guys that, like, if I pick up the phone and call Boo Man right now, Guru, need your help, he might be in class, but he's going to get back to me,
Yeah,
and so, awesome. Lupe Nunez, just guys that I've known have grown up, along the way. And so, now, Derek Gervin, watching these guys that he's known me since I was J-High to, just several people that have just been monster influences. Herb Jackson, from Burbank now with Antonian, just several people along the way that have just been phenomenal for me.
How did they approach you? After you get out of the military? Did they see the change in you?
I mean, they've known me since I was a kid. So, just growing up, the biggest change for me, and this is going to sound crazy, was my divorce. You can only mess up for so long in life before somebody's had enough. And I wasn't the guy I was supposed to be in that marriage. And I have no problem admitting that, because my divorce and therapy have been the best things that have happened to me, because that happened in 2019. And so I got to spend the next 6 years of life really looking at, okay, dude, like insanity, right? Doing the same things over and over again, expecting different results. Hey, you have to change. Yeah. And once I wanted to change, that's when therapy came into play, and you started being better. Then different blessings started happening. Tom Brown, like I said, divorce happened in 19. Remember I told you, October 2020. For that year and a half, there was a transition, conversations, and just kept being better. And now, once I'm at the Sportsplex and I've got Tom Brown with me every day, I've got Edward Dahl with me every day, I've got Tim Littlefield, Eric Talley, Indy Shivers, people that are really rooting for me and in my corner, right?
That's awesome.
When you change your environment, you change your mindset, you change your disciplines, you change your focus, life starts to work out a little different for you.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, it sounds like a great journey for you to be where you're at today, man. I've seen, again, known you for a long time. Coached against you, and then also just seeing you grow the program and directing there, man, is awesome, bro. And I never knew that about you, which is great to hear, man, and hearing your story on coming up with all this. So how many kiddos do you have now?
Got 4.
You got
four kiddos. A senior, a freshman, a 6th grader, and a 5th grader.
Oh, there you go, man. That'll keep you busy.
They do, but, believe it or not, man, when we talk about influences, they saved me.
That's what's up, man.
Because it was either become a stereotype or be better. I chose to be better. And like I said, that divorce, I poured into them, and then realizing, man, they're getting older. Dude, you gotta change. Yeah. And so, man, shout out to my children, because, man, Lord Jesus, I'd be probably dead. Like they truly biggest influence and saviors for me. Of course, God, that's an obvious. Anybody that doesn't know, that's a given.
So, what is it that Michael Daniel does to ease off your going through all these crazy parents and having the blessing to control and run that facility? What is it that Michael Daniel does to kind of ease everything, man? What do you like to do for fun?
Conversations help me, right? I talk to coaches, I talk to directors. like you mentioned, we used to coach against each other. You know, one of the biggest things, and again, Tom, you get the blame. Yes, I said it. You. When I first was in the sportsplex, I was just running follow through in the refs, and so I wasn't running turn. I wasn't running the league. So yeah, it was okay to coach my teams in there. But when they started handing me the reins, well, now I'm running the tournament, I'm running the league, I'm assigning the refs, and I'm coaching. And for me, perception is reality. And when I hear too many times conflict of interest, conflict of interest, conflict of interest, well, damn, what do I do? Because I've got my teams. How do I make this work? You know what? Let me get somebody else. Let me move away. So I stopped playing in our events. You know, if it was a weekend that we wanted to play locally, you know, we would go play in a full court event or, you know, a premier athletics event, you know, not anymore. I used to play in road to nationals events. And so that was my first step of growth, right? Realizing that if I want to be a top tier and superior director, listen to what the feedback is saying. No matter what you feel, I had to remove my ego, I had to remove my personal, I had to remove my bias and understand, like, what do I want? Do I want to be great follow through or do I want to be great tournament league director? And I love follow through, but I wanted to be great tournament and league director. And so I realized I've got to remove my follow through, meaning the two teams that I coach, from anything to do with leagues and tournaments. Follow through still exists, but you don't know that, you know, I'm never on those sidelines. You know,
I just realized it this past weekend. I literally just realized this past weekend. I'm like, you know, you were sitting on the side watching, and I'm like, okay, I'm playing against, like, wait a second. And that's when I had asked you.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm done.
I'm in the wind, you know, because the last thing I want is for a customer to feel any type of way. And I will tell you, I started doing that 2 years ago. And man, it's been phenomenal.
That's good.
You know, I don't try to steal people's players. You know, I have a rule. If a player reaches out to me, right, my first question, have you let Justin know?
Yeah, I had a player leave me to go to you recently. Yeah.
Right, Mingo.
Domingo.
Right, called you on.
That doesn't hurt my feelings one bit.
Because, and I tell the parent, you know, we're going to welcome you, but you need to make sure that you have that conversation, because before you step foot on my follow-through floor, I'm going to have a conversation with Justin, and I'm going to make sure that he's good with this, because I want to be a great tournament and league director. Yeah. And the last thing that you want is a perception that, well, I don't want to take my team to the sportsplex. They're going to want to leave me. And so when I started showing coaches that I don't go after anything, right? You know, have there been situations where my travel teams that I've reached out to other directors, hey, I think this will be great. Yeah, but I'm not being a snake about it. Like, I'm having real conversations like, hey, man, I think this is, you know, let's figure out how we, you know what I'm saying? And so I pride myself, you know, even, you know, on social media, when parents are looking for teams, right? I have no business in Helotes. So I know that's Mo Harris's territory. Next Level Raiders, Lou Martinez Toros, you know, that's their territory.
Yeah, for a long time you were sending me anybody in New Braunfels, because I was the only team in New Braunfels for a good couple of years.
Exactly, you know, and so part of, you know, my makeup is I want to make sure that when I say for the community, I really mean for the community. Meaning, if there's a parent that is in those areas, there's parents on the south side, Spurs lead, Alamo City office, right, knowing where everybody's at. You know, mid-tier premier, right? You know, knowing where everybody's at. You know, Northeast Dean, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially, like, if there's teams that I don't have, trying to put them, girls, I don't do girls. Hey, where y'all at? Okay, I send a message, Dale, SSA Finest, or Antonio, Lady Hoops, or Stu with SA Hoops Elite, right? Devon, play for, you know, being able to connect people. That's what I want to do.
That's awesome, man.
You know, being able to, because, man, there's more than enough for everybody, man. I don't got no business on the south side. Alamo City, Spurs League, man, y'all take that, man. You know, Floresville, call Ryan up at Texas Stampede. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you need those.
Yeah.
I believe our big thing here at Social Plug Media as a whole is community over competition.
Right.
You know, Burger King wouldn't be what it is without McDonald's. Papa John's wouldn't be what Papa John's without Domino's.
Right.
You know, and we got to look at things like that, especially locally, you know. Yeah. And I always say this in the world of what we do. I can't coach every kid, man. You know, and Titus from Mind Bogglers, I'm about to
Mind
have
Gamers.
I'm sorry, Mind Gamers. They're supposed to be coming. He's supposed to be coming on the show soon, and he took one of my kids, and I feel like he did that little sneaky thing too. But guess what?
I'm gonna tell you.
I'm not. It doesn't. I don't let it hit me that hard.
No,
you
listen.
Know what I mean?
Let me tell you. Let me speak up because I know the situation. I know the kid talking about NJ. You know, earlier we were talking about parents.
Yeah.
That was all mom.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Like
yeah.
Titus was just happened to be the recipient.
Yeah.
Like that was all mom.
Yeah.
Because
I would just like have and again
pick up the phone.
I'm not like Titus hit me. I mean I think
because y'all in each other's backyard.
Exactly. And I think he did try to call me and I was just so busy.
Yeah.
But this was after as well.
Yeah.
But again, like I have no hatred for Titus.
Right.
Like, you know, I hope and wish him nothing but respect. I give him nothing but respect and I wish him nothing but the best. And same, you know, and those things don't really bother me too much. And we'll end with this because we're about to end our time. I had to stop letting that bother me like years ago. Like whatever, and it goes back, like we said, we went to the parent conversation. Mm-hmm. It all leads to the parents, man. And at the end of the day, you know, if I wasn't their cup of tea, you better hope that I wasn't their kid's cup of tea because that's where you're really hurting them, you know.
At the end of the day, parents are going to do what they feel.
Correct.
Right? Doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
But they're going to do what they feel is best for their kid. And at the end of the day, we just have to accept that.
Yeah,
Doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, doesn't make it indifferent.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. And that particular player, that parent is 1,000% invested, involved.
Oh, she is.
And is going to do what she feels is best for her kiddo.
Absolutely.
And so that's just, that's one of those, you charge it to the game, give the kid a hug when you see him. I go mess up his comb over every time I see him. You know, love the kid. And that's just what it is, you know, and that's just, it's just the nature of the beast. You know, it's just, you know, we pour into kids, and when parents feel it's time to move on, we're not going to like it, especially when you've had kids for 2-3 years and you think everything's great. It happens. Still love the kid and just, you know, move forward because there'll be another kid that's going to come along, you know.
And there's no bad blood, trust me.
Right. I just wanted to make sure you knew. No. That situation, that's how I knew it was that. Nah, because I got a phone call like, what do you think? And I'm like, and then, you know, I heard the explanation. I'm like, you know, but I mean,
there's a lot to it. I mean, I know our team wasn't where it was for him either. And, I give all the respect. Like I said, she came to me and talked to me about it. I'm just saying, like, maybe I shouldn't have said it the way I said it either. But
like what I was talking about earlier. You know, when a kid comes into my gym, the first thing I do, have you let your coach know I'm going to have a conversation, you know, especially when you're in backyards like right here in the same town.
Yeah.
I get it. But that one, that's just, that is a parent trying to make sure she doesn't miss a beat, does everything right for her kiddo.
Yeah. No, I get it. You know what I mean? I think, like I said, maybe I misworded that. But yeah, no, it's just I would like I'm gonna have Titus on the show,
right?
And but those are the things that we run into,
you
know, as coaches, as directors, and running programs and stuff like that, and if you didn't, as a parent or as a coach, didn't go and reach out to the other coach, man, learn to do that, man, because it really will clear the air, you know, and again,
it keeps the door open because we live society right now is a greener grass society, right? Everybody thinks the grass is greener. Everybody wants instant lemonade, right? And so the last thing you want to do as a parent, don't close a door that you might need to go knock on again.
Yeah,
that's my whole thing with it. You know,
you're absolutely correct.
Don't close a door that you might need to go knock on again. And if parents can understand that piece, man, it'd be great. Yeah. You know, come let me know. Hey, I appreciate everything you've done, but I think this is going to be a better fit for my kiddo. Hey, hugs, wish you well.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Now in 7 months, something doesn't go well, and you need, hey, you know, thank you for letting us go. It wasn't what we wanted. You know, can we come back and try? Now that door is open versus you leave the way you leave in some situations.
Yeah.
Now your kid's stuck.
Yeah, I've seen other kids, and they're just like, I see them playing, and we're at a Friday, we're at a, and they're looking at me like, save me, but I'm like, I can't do nothing.
Man, no, what trips me out is when I see kids like you give them a championship ring on Saturday the 14th, and then Saturday the 28th they're in another uniform. Like,
what the dude? Yes, those are the things that get me too.
Or you're at the gym with WrestleMania, and you got a WCW backpack, like because
you're like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Oh, man. But it's the world we live in. Basketball, there's some changes coming on my end. Can't speak for everybody else. Hopefully, the initiative that I'm getting ready to roll out can maybe transcend to others. But I'm just gonna do my part.
There you go, man.
We had our differences, right? But professionals, grown-ups, have a conversation, and man, we back rocking. And so it's all part of growth. It's all part of being adults. It's all part of having conversations. A lot of people don't want to have conversations. Just have a conversation.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah. Hell, me and you had some shit before, and we're clear, man. We're good. We just got to clear the air. Yeah. That's all it is, man. Well, Daniel, I love that you came on the show, man, and gave us your time. I appreciate you. I know you're a busy man, and love to have you back. Eventually what I'm going to do is have a panel. Well, not a panel, but it'll be me and 3 other people on the podcast where we'll just talk about random things like that. And I'd love to have you and maybe some past guests just come and talk about the world that we live in, man. And
I'm with it.
Chat it out. To educate others as well, man. And that's what I loved about having you on today. I was educated more about you today, about y'all's program, and how much knowledge you have of all the other programs around, man. You were name dropping. I love that, bro. I was about to say, you already name dropped for me. So, but guys, make sure you go check out the facility if you're looking to get into any of these types of sports. But also, where can we find you, Daniel, on social media and everything? Can you kind of drop everywhere we can find you?
Michael Daniel Jr. That's linked to everything. And then for the Sportsplex, if you're looking for basketball, if you're looking for volleyball, if you're an athlete just looking for training, we have our MaxFit. We have our MaxFit facility and resource there as well. So whether you're a part of the basketball program, part of the volleyball program, if you're a track athlete, a swimming athlete, a tennis athlete, a golf athlete, a wrestling athlete, whatever the case may be, if you're an athlete that wants to get stronger, get more agile, right? Just want to get better as an athlete, MaxFit's in that building as well. And so
that's so
Alamo
cool.
City All-Star Sportsplex, it's where victory athletes are built,
So real quick, get into that now that you brought that up, because that's a huge addition to what you are doing.
Edward Dahl.
Edward, was that a big part of that?
Edward Dahl.
So y'all have personal trainers in there, all that good stuff?
God, yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And how I see that being ran as we're doing tournaments. So just because there's a tournament now, don't think that you can't get in there, correct?
There's so many trainers that there are hours, right? You get in there, you connect, you make your schedule, and then you go get better.
Wow, that's awesome.
Go get better.
That's a great addition there, man. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, make sure you go check them out over there. They got great stuff going on. And make sure you look into Daniel. And I'm sure, again, if you're a new team around wanting to get involved, contact them and let's go. And, man, I can't thank you enough, brother, for coming on out. And
hey, it was a pleasure being here, man. Thank you. And,
man.
Even if you guys, you don't just got to come and sign up for Lee's tournament, man. Tom groomed me. If you have conversation, want to have conversation, how to get started. Titus called me damn near every day before he started Mind Gamers, right?
Yeah.
I have no problem answering questions, having conversations.
Awesome, man.
Thank you again thank you for having me. Appreciate
Absolutely, man. All right, guys, make sure you check out the next episode. I am shooting this episode and another one today, so you'll get 2 episodes next week. And so when we get these dropped, and man, I just love to do these. I learned a lot, and I'm ready. Michael Danner doesn't know this yet, but I'm trying to be a director somewhere eventually and get out of coaching myself. So he just found out some new news about me. And but yeah, that's where I kind of want to go to. I told myself that I'd only coach till I'm 40. I'm 37 this year. So a lot of things I still want to do in the coaching world, but I'm probably lying to you. I'll probably coach a little bit longer. All right, guys, we're out. We'll see you later.
Man, you just started a 4th grade team. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere no time soon.
That's right. That's right.